Joining us now to talk about the Tea Party movement is Dan Proft, former candidate for governor, presently a radio talk show host and political commentator. And Dan, thanks for coming in today.
Thank you.
Lots to talk about. And first of all, how surprised should we be about O'Donnell in Delaware, Carl Palladino in New York, Tea Party candidates that beat opponents that were heavily favored just a couple of months ago?
Yeah, I don't think we should be surprised anymore because we've seen the same storyline play out through this election cycle in Nevada, in Utah, in Colorado, in Alaska, in Kentucky. You know, a lot of nationally backed Republican candidates in these primaries have lost because the Tea Party movement in these states is sending a message to the establishment of the party in D.C. that we want to talk about policy. It's not about personalities. And just because you present somebody that we're supposed to fall in line for that has the right resume and the right connections, we're not necessarily on board unless they're going to vote right. Now, O'Donnell's kind of a special case because there was even a lot of infighting about her within conservative circles because of, frankly, her erratic behavior. But again, people are saying, you know, I'd rather take somebody who's a little bit erratic, who votes my way and votes my interests, than somebody who's debonair and votes against me.
Yeah, definitely an anti-incumbent sentiment out there. Talk about the winners and losers here, though, Dan. They keep saying this is shaking up the Republican Party. There's no question they're taking a hit over these recent victories by the Tea Party. But then all the polls are reflecting that Democrats stand to lose the most in the upcoming elections. Who's going to make out the best here?
Yeah, I mean, I think Republicans are poised to make out very well. I mean, I think the pendulum is going to swing back significantly. I think it's just about a guarantee we're going to win back the House. I think in Illinois, we're going to win the governor's race. We're going to win the Senate race. We're probably going to pick up 3 congressional seats at least. The Illinois State House is in play. We're going to pick up seats in the state Senate. So, I mean, I think what you're seeing is a rejection of anybody who's been in power, who's had their fingerprints on what has happened over the last 2 years nationally and in Illinois in particular. Since it's the Chicago Democrats here that were exported to D.C., we know it very well. Over the last 10 years that they've had control of this state.
What I find interesting now is this divisiveness that's emerging here between mainline Republicans. Karl Rove, the former Bush strategist, came out and just ripped O'Donnell yesterday in interviews. And so will the mainstream Republicans and these Tea Party supporters come together in time for November?
Yeah, will there be unity? Right?
Yeah, I mean, I think for the most part the answer is yes. There may be some outliers, and Christine O'Donnell may be an outlier because you know, she's down significantly in the polls, so that may be a race that we would have won with her opponent Mike Castle that we won't win with Christine O'Donnell, although I think that's yet to play out. So I think there's some friction in Delaware in particular, but in those other races I mentioned where the upstart Tea Party candidate won in those other states, they all look good in the polls. So at the end of the day, the National Republican Party gets the bottom line. It's a numbers game, and it's about winning, and so they're going to back the nominees.
We continually hear the Tea Party representatives, as we just saw them there in the sound bites we featured, saying we're not fringe, we're not on the outside, we're not crazy lunatics, we're normal Americans with normal American viewpoints about fiscal responsibility, and we don't like what the incumbents have done, and we're going to show that kind of sentiment. Why are they being made out to be fringe? Are they fringe, or is this sort of an attack from within the Republican Party?
Well, it's not fringe, and frankly, they're not even all Republicans, as the one lady said. I mean, this is a lot of people who are just angry with what has happened. They feel like their quality of life has taken a massive hit, and the ruling class in D.C., or in this case in Springfield here, just are not responsive to their real concerns. And so I think there's some friction with particular races, but by and large, I think you have a rejection of kind of the status quo and a rejection of the powers that be, and that's across party lines.
We will be watching very carefully. It's going to be a very interesting couple of months here.
Remember in November, as the Tea Party says. Yes.
Dan, thanks for coming in.
Thank you.